Okay, morning folks. Welcome to the briefing. Lasham Club flying on the 12th of September 2020. So, what have we got today? I think it's a little bit different from what I was looking at perhaps 24 hours ago. You can see this is the midday, but if I just go back, so this cold front over the north of England, certainly yesterday quite a lot of rain on it over Ireland and northern England, but as it's sort of progressed its way south, it's dried out, and it's no more than a cloud feature now. Slight change in air mass, but doesn't appear to be great change in air mass, but it certainly brings the prospect of a reasonable day today, rather than yesterday the prospect of just about being flyable. So winds, I think a bit of a rerun of yesterday. Westerly 10 knots over most of the area, the south of England. Not picking up, I don't think, during the day. It'll be fairly steady all day. On the ground, less than 10 knots, probably 6 to 8 at the most. And you can see, I'm going to show two sat pics. You can sort of see here, this is probably the frontal system just slowly coming down, but there's not a lot to it. This is the visual satellite. You can see it more clearly on the infrared coming across here. It's a slightly brighter feature, and there is some higher cirrus in here. Hopefully it won't cause too much of a problem for soaring this afternoon, but I think it will come across in certain areas and damp the conditions down. Temperature wise, I think you're looking at similar to yesterday, really. Probably 19 degrees max around here and out to the west and north of us. It certainly won't feel like that on the ground. Yesterday we were there in coats because the wind certainly had a chill to it. Dew points, most places currently are around 10 to 11 degrees. Very slightly lower dew points further north. Here is just under 11 at the moment, and I think that'll go down to about 9. So during the day, a reasonable temperature split, certainly this afternoon. And looking at the predicted soundings, I think we're going to have a similar sort of start to yesterday. Bit cloudy, slightly overcast in places, breaking up, and then going up slowly to about 3,000 feet by early afternoon, and then by mid-afternoon going up a little bit more around here, perhaps 3.5, I think at best. Looking further north and west, it's slightly drier in here. Certainly this is well beyond that. It's a weak cold front that's going through, and I think cloud base could get to 4,000 feet with less cumulus. You can see just in there smaller amounts of cumulus, and top meteo are suggesting the same sort of thing. So getting going around about 11 o'clock to midday, up to 3,000 feet, maybe a little bit more. And then as the afternoon goes on, that's 1 o'clock and then 2 o'clock, they're sort of saying round here, 1,300 meters, just over 3,000 feet, but further west and further north in this area, sort of up towards Nymphsfield, Oxford, and out west, 1,400 meters for the afternoon. As I say, the upper cloud will be the interesting feature where it goes. It might damp the conditions down. It's a hard one to predict, and top meteo are suggesting there will be bits of upper cloud lurking about all over the place. So cumulus over us by early afternoon, pieces of upper cloud in various places. So I think a reasonable weather window. How long it's going to go on for, my guess would be back here by 5 o'clock at the very latest. So should be good for a couple of 100k. Certainly where the sun shines, it'll be very reasonable. They're sort of showing blue patches in places, cumulus in others. So task, distance and direction, I think in an area up towards Oxford, out to the west, not too far west, as you're going to have some effect from the Bristol Channel, and around Lasham will be a good area. For the more adventurous, perhaps Oxford and on into Cambridgeshire for 300 or a little bit more than that. So folks, reasonable day for September. Okay, so airspace wise, not really a lot. You filter out the paragliding and other bits and pieces and it's fairly quiet. They have notammed the danger area, that Salisbury Plain, just extend the height from 1,800 feet up to 2.5. And I think that was something to do with an overnight parachute operation that they had there. But that's basically running till midnight tonight. And the only other one is aerobatics at Little Granston. And it seems to be now NOTAM to the end of the month. I didn't think the NOTAM people were allowed to actually authorize a NOTAM for a month at a time. I thought they had to do it on an individual basis, but this one seems to be a block NOTAM. Apart from that, very quiet in this area here, folks. Operationally, I think we won't have a grid today. Just come to the runway and we'll get you launched. There's no jet movements forecast for the weekend, so it'll be fairly easy and straightforward. We're on 2.7. When it's soarable, just come out and we'll launch you. Okay, folks, see you out there.